everyone, this is Learn Psychology with me, your mentor, Naz. As promised, this lesson is all about psychology, and this week I will introduce you to the area of psychology. In this lesson, there will be fun fact quizzes. We will learn what psychology is and what it is not. I will get you psyched up for psychology and give you some exercises to try in your own time. Let me start by introducing myself. My name is Naz, and I come from a tiny island in the Mediterranean called Cyprus. Try to find it on your world map. You'll see how tiny it is. I studied psychology at university, and I also taught psychology to university students for a year after I graduated. Let's start our first lesson with a fun fact quiz about color blindness. Is color blindness more common in men or women? A. There are equal numbers of men and women who are colorblind. B. There are more colorblind women than men. And C. There are more colorblind men than women. I'll give you a couple of seconds to think about it. 3, 2, 1. The correct answer is C. Colorblindness is more common in men. Because of their genetic structure, men are more likely to be colorblind. But women can also be carrying the color blindness gene without being colorblind themselves. Now, let's start learning what psychology is. First off, I want to know what you think psychology is. I'll give you 3 choices. Think carefully. Psychology is for helping people who have mental health problems. Psychology is for studying how people think and behave. And psychology helps you read people's minds. I'll give you some time to think. If you want more time, pause the video and come back when you're ready to hear the answer. Now, with your choices in mind, let's go over each option together. Yes, psychology is for helping people who have mental health problems. Some people who study psychology do become psychiatrists after years of training, and they work with patients with mental health issues and help them recover. Again, yes, psychology tells us how people think and behave. For example, psychology can tell us why we are so bad at remembering someone's name when we meet them only once, and it's such an embarrassing moment when we meet them again and we just cannot remember their name. And unfortunately, no, psychology does not help us read people's minds. This would be an excellent skill, but studying psychology will not help you read anybody's mind. I should add though, while you cannot read people's mind, psychology can help you understand why some people behave in certain ways, and help you develop empathy for other people. Now it is time to get psyched up for psychology. Personally, I love psychology because it makes me think about the way people behave and helps me understand why they behave that way. For example, psychologists show that while some people prefer an immediate treat, like a small chunk of delicious chocolate, others can wait for a while to get an even bigger treat, like a whole bar of chocolate. They showed this using a cool experiment known as the marshmallow test. Psychologists had a child in a room and they gave them a piece of marshmallow. They told the child that if they wanted to eat the marshmallow now, they could, but if they waited, they'd get 2 pieces of marshmallow, and then they left the room. While some of the children immediately ate the marshmallow, some others chose to wait to get 2 pieces of candy. So, patients paid for them. Psychologists called this delayed gratification. Let's practice now. I call this activity learning about yourself. What would you do in the following situation? Remember, there is no right or wrong answer, the choice is completely yours. Your parents tell you that they can buy you 1 video game now, or if you wait until Christmas, you get 2 video games. What would you choose? Think about it well. If you want to think any longer, you can pause the video and come back when you're ready to reflect on your choice. So, what did you choose? Did you choose to practice delayed gratification to get 2 video games in Christmas? Why? And if you didn't, why not? What did you think about when you were making your decision? Was there a video game that you really wanted to play right now? Or can you be patient enough to get 2 video games? Very good. Now that you know about delayed gratification, maybe you can think about your choices in a new light from now on. As a psychologist, I try to understand how we recognize how people are feeling from the facial expressions that they make. Some facial features are very helpful clues to recognize emotions, such as the big smile for happy faces. Now let's test out your emotion recognition skills. Here you can see 6 people showing 6 different emotions. I want you to attach one of the labels on the left to each expression and really think about what clues from their face helped you decide which emotion each face is showing. I'll give you some time to do this. If you need more time, you can pause the video and come back when you're ready to reflect on your choice. 3, 2, 1. Here is how I match the labels to each expression. Happy face with the smile, angry face with the frown, sad face with the upturned mouth, disgusted face with the stretched open mouth and slightly wrinkled nose, surprised face with wide open mouth and eyes, and finally fearful face with the lips stretched down and eyes open wide. Well done, that was great! Now you know a little about what psychology is and what we can learn by studying psychology. Now, let's talk a little bit about psychology careers. There are many different career options for people who study psychology at university. Psychologists can become psychotherapists by studying at university and training as a psychotherapist after graduating. They work with patients with mental health problems at hospitals and mental health institutions. They can also become forensic psychologists by studying at university and again training as a forensic psychologist after graduating. They work with criminals, offenders, and victims at prisons and sometimes courtrooms. Finally, psychologists can also become researchers, like myself, by studying and doing research at university. Researchers work with a wide range of people depending on their interests at universities and other research institutions. A research institute is a place that is founded for doing research on a topic. For example, Cancer Research UK, Manchester Institute, is a research institute where scientists study cancer and they try to create treatments for different forms of cancer. Let's practice now. In this task, I want you to find the people each career works with and the place they work at and put them under the correct career. So, for each career, you will have 2 boxes, one for the people each career works with and another one for the place they work at. I'll give you some time for this. If you need any more time, pause the video here and come back when you're ready to check your answers. 3, 2, 1. Here are the correct answers. So, psychotherapists work at hospitals and mental health institutions, and they work with patients with mental health issues. Forensic psychologists work at prisons and courtrooms, and they work with prisoners and victims. And finally, researchers work at universities and research institutions, and they work with all people who volunteer to take part in their research. Well done! That was great! Let's end our first lesson with a fun fact quiz. What famous animated movie did psychologists help write? A. Toy Story, B. Inside Out, C. Coco. Think about what behaviors we learned psychologists work on in this lesson. If you need any more time, feel free to pause the lesson here and come back when you're ready to see the answer. 3, 2, 1. B. Inside Out. Inside Out is about Riley's different emotions, and we learned today that psychologists do study emotions. So, a famous researcher who has been studying emotions for a very long time was asked to help with Inside Out. Isn't that fascinating? Before we end our first lesson, I would like to give you some extra tasks that you can do in your own time. First, follow this link to see a video of the marshmallow experiment. See which children practiced delayed gratification and which did not, and think about what you would have done in that situation. Second, follow this link to help identify Riley's emotions. Think about what clues there are in her face, her body posture, and the tone of her voice that would give her emotions away. And finally, go ahead and summarize what you learned about psychology today. I will meet you again next week with a brand new lesson about psychology. Until then, stay curious and don't forget to have fun.